Another priceless tool. The telephone keeps dying on me. It's called a G Smart. This baby here. We're gonna. Let's just do this here, like this. Scanning the system. We're gonna use this one here. Then we have this here, baby, like this. This is very nice. We're gonna do the self-test. This thing, by the way, this was included. The seller even admitted that hard drive did not work and concluded for the money it's gonna be okay. This is going straight back to China. Let's do this here. Sort shelf test. And this here, this is the execute, I guess. This is it. Okay, so let's see how this is gonna work. Estimated duration is just 2 minutes. It came to me recommended by a man who posted the video here. There you go. 5 best free hard drive testing tools for the Windows. This would be one of them. I did not try yet.
It allows you to check the health of your drive and run various tests.
There you go.
Moving on to number 3, HDD scan.
We did that one already. So let's see how this is gonna, as you see right there is a 30%. Okay, let's see how long these 2 minutes are gonna be. Short offline, manually aborted. 40%. So this thing is gonna quite rapidly prove at least something. This was used during MK Ultra. I believe that this was the hard drive which already was in Slovenia. I believe the man who was using this was the seller or whoever manufacturer, whoever was coming in this house to demonstrate this tool. And he alone acknowledged that this is not a good hard drive. He alone acknowledged that it is and is not, but for the price that would be okay. Let's see. Let's see how good this is going to be. Now I'll give you a little bit political overview about what you're watching. Well, basically what you're watching is incompetence of the European leaders inside of the European Union. It's a failed economy nobody wants to talk about. Everybody is talking about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Donald Trump is a jerk. Donald Trump is completely incompetent. Just as I pointed out, Donald Trump is a fuck-up. And Donald Trump is a deliberate fuck-up. Donald Trump is a saboteur. Saboteur. Donald Trump is deliberately jamming American economy. Donald Trump is turning and did turn American economy upside down, demonstrated the world the weakness of American economy. Donald Trump demonstrated that American economy can become indifferent from the old Soviet economy, from the old Yugoslav economy by pushing the taxation up. Unwillingness basically to compete, unwillingness to offer a poor group of people, even middle class people, cheaper, less costly. He refused to compete. He demonstrated truly a Soviet Yugoslav side. But still, nobody talks about the European leaders. What about the European leaders? Here you can see a perfect example of the European leadership. It might sound crazy to you, but that's exactly what it is. Brussels. You can see that we made it all the way to 90%, very successfully so, or maybe not, but it's not going to go beyond 90%. And this is the stuff that we have seen already on a few other occasions, and that means that this hard drive is garbage. I doubt the seller is going to even request the return to China. I would not put any fucking information on that thing, that's for sure. He suggested me that it's going to be good for about maybe like 600 gigabytes, something like this, but not the bow. He was testing this stuff to see just how faulty this shit is. If I knew this stuff, man, I would, yeah. Now it's too late to cry about this. So, yeah, 90%, and you're gonna see, I bet you this is the last time I'm doing this. I'm not doing this no more. And then that's gonna be it. It's not gonna move anywhere. Yeah, what I will do is, I'm gonna go for 10 minutes, and basically I just wanna make sure that this shit gets another 10 minutes, so there's not going to be any doubt about it, whether this shit is working or not, because obviously it's not. See? What the hell is this thing? It says here, short offline manually aborted. Is this maybe even lifetime hours? Look, 17. Short offline manually aborted, 18. Short offline manually aborted, 18. Short manually aborted, 20. 20, always 90%. Completed is always up to 90%. It's got a chronicle problem, this thing. It makes it to the 90%, but the self-test it would not complete. You'll see, you can see that the first time I tested it, when it had a 17 hours, it did not work. 18 hours, no. 18, 20. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tests. This is a 7th test we're doing right now. And yes, of course, it's going to have to be manually aborted because I'm not going to stay here 3 fucking hours. What choice do I have other than manually abort garbage? That's good. That's not good, folks. That's very bad. I did mention to you about the European leadership, Brussels. What you see here is happening, it took place simply because entire European economy, the strongest inside of the European economy, whose entire car industry is based in China. Everything is none other than Germany. That's exactly what you're watching here. What you're watching here is a total corruption and a total incompetence of the European leadership. Now, that is not only Germany. Europe is not Germany. Europe is just a country in Germany. But the way it looks like, we have incompetence who, throughout the European Union, enforce Greater Germany. They basically sabotage themselves, whether they be French, Italian, Spanish, Polish, Romanian, Bulgarian, Hungarian, Swedish or Norwegian, whatever it might be. They sabotage themselves. Norway is not inside of the European Union, I guess. They sabotage themselves. Now, they can afford themselves to do that. Talking about the Germans, Dutch, they can do it. They can. But the rest of us, they can't. We can't. So we live like in a semi-retarded, completely incompetent world. Here, what you see is being done because it can be done. Yeah, you can do it and get away without any kind of consequence. And because it's also profitable, that's a foremost thing. It's a profitable. The way the Germans treat this disease is by imposing, demanding additional taxation, more money basically on imports, especially from China. They'll complain about this stuff to the European leadership in Brussels. They'll say, that's right, we have to make more money out of China. We have to tax China more. We have to make things more impossible for the China. And so in the China, you have a lot of people struggling to get by, but also Chinese economy, thanks to what I stated, thriving. Well, what's the difference between American economy and European economy? Well, once upon a time, before Donald Trump arrived, America was more competitive. It still is. I mean, in the United States of America, when it comes to the hard drive or to the telephone, you just go to the store, you go to the local store, and you buy yourself, let's say, a brand new Motorola telephones, 4 gigabyte RAM, 464 ROM, and you get that for less than $30 in Walmart anywhere in the US. Nice 6.5 inch whatever smartphones. You can do the same thing when it comes to hard drives. You get for low cost money, a little money with a brand name, with a Toshiba, wherever the brand name might be. You can get it all over the place. Plenty solutions, low cost solutions for you, because this is the way it's made. And somewhat similar, it's also made for the Germans. Let's say the Seagate is made in Netherlands, I think it is. And so they have ability, next to high salaries, high pay, they have ability to buy cheap, low-cost products in Holland, in Germany, and so on. But not the rest of the Europe is struggling, basically, with a German quota, import quota, which they impose on the entire European Union. 22% DDV. And now they even understand they came up with additional demands for more money to increase for the poor people. More. That's what you call incompetence. So, as you see it right there, does not look good. This was, as a matter of fact, one of the topics. They did discuss how I'm going to be recording this stuff, and I'm not going to have where to save videos and stuff like this. And I'm just going to be recording the junk, basically. Talking about those who created this problem. Talking about the police. So, yeah, I became really miserable. I will be using this stuff here, though, to demonstrate that it did not come new, and it's a junk. I am tired as hell, boy. All fucking day long, and I started in the crazy morning hours, and look, damn it, I ate something and watch few videos in between, and just bloody Saturday. It was sunny outside, and this is how basically I ruined myself more. Okay, so another 5 minutes went past. And I don't have the timestamp camera on that stupid telephone. I don't have it. That's a good thing about the timestamp camera, because you always have a timestamp camera and you can see basically the time that is running past. This is a total garbage, total junk. And I'm doing pretty much the same thing as the guy who came with this exact hard drive inside of our house and was playing with this stuff. Both of these hard drives were opened and that kind of stuff. These people send junk basically for the real money, in return for real money. So
There it is. TST completion 90%, 0 seconds. And there you go. There you have your wonderful, magnific 90% completed. And the timing when I had to abort this garbagia. Like the guy actually left, I don't know, one time for a few hours with certainty that this garbage somehow is going to complete, but it didn't. That means these people are selling the faulty tests. It was 90% completed. It was the Chinese guy who said to me, oh, well, it is going to be a 90%. Then we're going to be negotiating for the 90% of the price that you paid. It's not going to be like this. That's how it's done. So according to him, 90% is good. So 90%, that's the way it is. 90%. This is another program right here. I watched this video here. It recommends you HD tune. That this is another program
for errors and can securely erase all data. And that's it. Thanks for watching.
I don't want to erase all data, but I also don't give a shit if it's all data because there is no data. This year we're gonna abort this operation. I have enough of it. You're gonna maybe even see the time here, 21. Maybe not. Let's see this thing here. How many hours has this already been wasted? My hours.
The taxation of the products works for some time, but the fact of the matter is that you become incompetitive. You no longer compete. Your industry is protected. You don't need to compete. And the biggest problem with all this stuff is that the industry starts to lag behind. It becomes slow and incompetent more and more because it's reliant on taxation. And that's how basically the economy completely falls apart. Yes, we do live in a totally rigged, it's rigged and controlled German Europe, if you ask me. None of this stuff would have been happening, and it's not normal for people to do the stuff like this.
We're gonna stop this. Let's stop it. Test aborted. There you go, number 7. It still goes into the category of the 20 hours. And off we go. 90% completed, right? I should be paying now for 90% of the hard drive, right? No, this is not the way it is. Never managed to complete the self-test. Failed at 17 hours. And repeated no less than 7 times all the way in a 20 hours with 7 different programs. This hard drive truly is a garbage. Auto security disabled, not frozen. I have no idea what that means. It's the auto security is disabled, not frozen. Yeah. I'm frozen and disabled.
We live in a totally regulated world. We live in a Deutsch world. Deutschland, Deutsch world. And that's basically what happens when you lag. But it's basically, as far as investments, technology, when you lay everything in one basket, and in this case, it's all went into China. There's no competition to China. It's just China, basically. China and Germany. And that's exactly the world we live in. Germans love to talk about what normal is and was ist normal nicht and this and that. Normal, normal nicht, nein, normal, nein. But you see, the one who created this type of dementia, psychiatry basically on open is none other than Größe Deutschland über alles, basically. So we are subject to the robbery and a total dementia, total fuck up, basically sabotage, and even I would say self-sabotage, self-fucking up. Throughout the Europe, basically entire Europe had to suffer for this type of domination, and I should even say self-destruction, self-annihilation, self-robbery, self-deprivation. That's the neue europäische Ökonomie. This is basically the way this shit functions. That's exactly what you witness right there. No, I'm not paying you 35 euros for the junk that was 17 hours on, that was already tested, visualized, envisioned as hard drive is gonna fall apart. I'm not fucking paying you for that. I'm not paying you for a fucking postage so that I can compete with the Chinese postal services and with the German corruption. That's not what the fuck I'm doing. I heard in Belgium they even increased the costs for about 2 euros for the packages that arrived to Belgium. You see, Ursula von der Leyen, German Ursula von der Leyen, is from Belgium. You know what the Germans want us to do? They want us to bark, basically. Whoa, 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 whoa. But in the background of it all, they want to count the money through the complete madness, basically, they created for us to live in, subsist in. This is the truth about this neue deutsche Europa, das Europa. If you want to talk about a taxation, want to talk about a tax, if you want to talk about that, watch this video, understand this video, and you want to, don't fucking talk to me about stuff. Stuff that you buy in China is cheap. That's one thing. Now, you were able to buy cheap stuff also in Japan. You don't have to go buy yourself a Swiss watch or German watch or whatever. You could buy yourself just as good watch, but this is the key, just as good watch made in Japan. Japanese electronic became better in many sectors, more advanced than the European, better. But when it comes to the China, it appears that it becomes like a junk place where anything goes, basically. And in this case, you have a hard drive, actually, it's not so timid. It's for quite a lot of money. 35 euros for 1 terabyte. My goodness, that's a lot of fucking money for the hard drive that you as a seller tested, was defective, does not work, and you sell it as a Black Friday special 1 terabyte for 35 euros. That's a lot of fucking money. That's a fucking golden hole. That's fantastic, I would say. I wouldn't be even talking to you about if this issue was not involved in MK Ultra. They told me they will fuck you one time they will get you, and they will do this and so on, and they will do it to you. Well, not on my watch, not the Germans. They caused enough damage in this case, and not the Chinese, the so-called Communist Party. With the communist, very confusing, isn't it? It's a communist party, right? But this communist party has a big appetites, and they treat their customer very different. The customer from Africa would not get this kind of stuff. The customer from Africa will get whatever works perfectly fine. But the customer from Europe, if it's a targeted person, then he's going to get a gift from Vladimir Putin. I'm surprised that Putin did not sign this hard drive. And there you have it. On one side, Germany, and on the other side, you have a communist Chinese party united together through the beautiful Slovenia, basically. They do basically as they please to do, like a kings. Well, it does not go like this here. You're being exposed. You're being demonstrated, both sides, all the fucking sides, for exactly what you are. I don't pay you breakfast like that for doing stuff like this. Truly, folks, in America, you need a cheap underwear, cotton made, shirt, whatever it is, it's available. You have to go a little bit through the stores, look for the price, and buy yourself one. The same shit is with a smartphone, with a hard drive. The thing is, this goes into the necessities. And as you see, the stuff that I do goes into the area of journalism, goes to the area of other issues pertaining to my life. And through a total denial of the right to exist, such as in Slovenia, psychiatric Slovenia, which enforced through forced unemployment, total denial basically, you only exist on the paper, on your state ID. Zero income, zero anything, any kind of assistance, nothing through lifetime. Forced unemployment. They created a Walt Disney of lunacy on open. So if it's going to be a Walt Disney, Ruski, Razia Slovenska, Ruska on open, then as well as might be the world to see this shit for what it is, the way it looks. But for the people inside of the European Union, you shouldn't be happy with your leadership. Your leadership is doing absolutely everything possible to make you miserable, and the misery basically destroys whatever otherwise would not be even possible to destroy. Based on my views, what we have inside of the Strasbourg, inside of the Brussels, we have a group of saboteurs, sabotagers. They're doing everything, absolutely everything possible to make you miserable, crazy. It's not even about collecting the money, but using the misery basically to steer people against what otherwise people never ever would allow, never ever would agree. That comes to the war in Ukraine, basically. Why the fuck would Europe have to give away on Ukraine, on the most fertile parts of Ukraine, full of minerals, coast of Ukraine, in the Black Sea, which is crucial to European security, for the sake of some kind of misery that rules over there inside of the Strasbourg and inside of the Brussels? Basically, their job is to sicken people. Why the hell would we have to do that? Donald Trump's economy provenly had failed. He went on to demonstrate the total fuck up. He jammed American companies, farmers, fucked them up beyond reaches. Did accomplish absolutely nothing, which actually was his goal as a saboteur, as a worker of Putin, of the Russia. It was expected. He demonstrated in front of the whole world even the Chinese superiority, economic superiority toward the United States of America. That's what he did. That was his job. As a saboteur, basically that's what you do. You rig, even if it's only temporary, to do this stuff. The war is somewhere else. It's not only on the Ukrainian front lines. The war that's taking place, the misery, it's on your souls, it's on your mind. It's done by the people who act on the stages, they walk back and forth on the stages, like Ursula von der Leyen, saying, oh, you know, we must support Ukraine. Yes, but the actions, the way this stuff is being done, is done in such a way that it actually obnox the people away from the main cause of the European Union. It is well creating Russo-Chinese European Union. That's basically when you have this big Gesellschaft, the big Deutsche business doing the stuff on behalf of us all. Because at the end of the day, when you go to the stores, whatever it is they have, even your Hewlett Packard, whatever it is that you hold in your hands, smartphones, they are assembled, made in China. The only question is, through whose investment that is done? Through whose factory in China, I should say. That's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day. Hey, you be fucking stupid if you if you did buy inside of the European Union the stuff that's actually imported to the European Union from China. What comes from China into the European Union is basically, just as I explained to you, what comes to the European Union from China, that's the imports, whoever have the factories, and Germans have a lot of factories, so tremendous investments in China, through which they import to Europe, and then they charge you very good, hefty, good price, yeah. And or from the Chinese industry itself, it started to compete with foreign investments in China. This is the way it is. But yes, man, when you invest everything into one basket, and this market becomes totally, I'm not going to say irregulated, but basically jammed, corrupt beyond the reaches, like it is the case between the Beijing and between the Brussels, then you have a fuck up like this. You have basically organized criminal network. Call it a communist, or call it whatever the hell you want, European capitalist, or whatever the hell you want. But it's corrupt, it's jammed, it's fucking nasty, and they're out there to conquer the world like they did already in the past. Some things just never change. This is just the way it is. I do find it impressive that Germans actually did threaten Ursula von der Leyen. Just say something against the China and the price will go up. We already discussed additional taxes. We discussed about, yes, of course you did. I bet you did. If you want the monopoly, if you want the complete control, you will not go and lower the prices. You will increase the prices. You will increase the taxation. And hopefully the people like myself, you get them killed. You get them deleted. You get them wiped out. It's normal. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing. It's normal. And you portray yourself as a pro-European, a patriot. Somehow shit always starts in Belgium, but it's always German shit that starts in Belgium and then spreads all over the place. A big fucking stain, basically. And it just grows bigger and bigger till it stinks everything. How much time was lost in the process of this Black Friday? Maybe 1 month. At least 1 month of time, at least 30 days of total lunacy, dementia. This lunacy, this dementia was started by the Slovenian police by simply using a locals here to steal the smartphone from me as I was sitting on the bench in the nighttime near Žihovo Selo. All based on MK Ultra scenario. This is the way it was. This is the way they started. It was the smartphone based exactly on the brainwash. You're gonna purchase the new even batteries from China for the telephones, including the telephone that was stolen from me. And you were able to see how I recorded with this crap, the video. And then it all started. It took about 30 days, basically. Search on the internet with attempt to substitute a telephone, and also, which had nothing to do with that issue, but also hard drive. Yes, it had enormously a lot to do with that issue because I was using timestamp camera, and I was in no capacity to use a high definition, basically 1280 by 720 resolution. What actually forced me to compile, to pile low resolution videos, which had to be turned into HD, so that further even the resolution of their shit resolution, 480 resolution, would not be downgraded by YouTube even further down into 360 as it is the case. So it costed me space on a hard drive, it ate the fucking hard drive, and telephone was stolen, and etc. And then I attempted to replace that with the crap telephones which they went on to offer based on MK Ultra scenario. And as you see also with the hard drive, where you can save the data just to not even exist. Pretty damn smart if you ask me. At least 30 days, 16 hours a day, studying, trying to understand, searching at least. And it was at least 6 months I was doing this shit. But it all together adds up to about 30 days of something that I should have absolutely nothing to do with it. At least 30 days. This is the way they do it. It's a Walt Disney of lunacy, of psychiatry on open, through the zero income per month, completely regulated. What you're gonna eat, what you're gonna drink, what you're gonna shit. Deutsche System. Mother in Germany. Somnambulist hard drive. I wouldn't even buy one, but this game is extremely recommended. It's like, wow. Now that's a hard drive. That's what you want to have. Cheap and the best and so on and so forth. And it all ended with the man, with the seller gesturing me, I want you to have one free. It's gonna be okay. I tested one up to, it just started to insist me that it's gonna be okay. Up to like 600 gigabytes or something like that. Why do I don't feel good about that kind of stuff? Somnambulist hard drive is a non-existing company. Just like other companies, it appears and then it disappears. It just goes under other name, which is quite helpful. Somehow reminds me of United States of America. I did spoke about the company that is open, and they do till the local police company, basically, not the police, but the company. Yeah. In America, this is the way it is. Lets them know, basically, that it got too hot and it's time to close. It's too many complaints. Basically, it's just best to close the company down and open the same company under the different name. You know, for 35 euros, you should give, if it's unbranded hard drive, the fucking hard drive that should be at least good as a Toshiba or some other hard drive. It was established by the police that, in Novo Mesto, in parentheses, police. You see what this shit is? The Chinese make shit hard drives. The best hard drives the Chinese make are low cost budget, 240 gigabytes up to not even 500 gigabytes. They tested who knows how many hard drives they purchased, and they tested them out. I have no idea why that would be, but the largest size hard drives with a Chinese brand are a trouble. In particularly, will give you a lot of problems, hassle. But then again, yes, this is a low budget hard drive. But what the fuck is the high budget drive, hard drive? The 2 terabyte hard drive from Toshiba costs you 50 euros on eBay. So what is the low budget and the high budget and this and that? When you add up for the 4 terabytes, if you would go and purchase the hard drive, that would be 4 terabyte. In terms of what I purchased, that would run you about 140 euros. That's over $150, well, for 4 terabytes. So this is no low budget, and yeah, it actually was tested as failed drive. Used for 17 hours, somebody was testing it. Through literally leaving fingernails on a housing of the hard drive and then sold as a Friday special. Yes, Friday the 13th. Is nicht normal. I like the Germans say normal, not normal. Fuck you. The other one who also likes to talk about normalne. That's a русский, Розия, Руси, Рускини. Нормальный, ненормальный. Нормальный, ненормальный. You know, you depict yourself in a нормальный by creating for yourself together with the Germans a very, very ненормальный world. And then you like to talk about the нормальный and ненормальный. Hey, you fucking shit. The financial landscape throughout the European Union is very, very, very diverse. It's very, very different. With Ukraine starved as the most in entire Europe. Albanians and Ukrainians are the two groups of people that are starved the most. The next one that comes close to them also are Bosnians. The financial landscape of the Europe is very, very different, very, very varies per country. Next to the hard drives that come from Holland, the Seagate, you can see the Germans make on average 55, over there in Austria even 60,000 euros per year. And this isn't about even who makes how much per year, what their income is. This is not even about this. It's not even about that kind of stuff. This is about my case that German Gestapo enforced since my earliest childhood. In complete agreement with the Russians, I should say with the Slovenes, Serbs, and others. What the new world brought us to is a Chinese superpower, in spite of even my American citizenship, therefore also together with Americans. So what might be anyhow easy for somebody inside of the European Union might be very difficult for somebody else. It might be completely impossible, totally, and it is, for somebody like myself. And that's exactly what German Gestapo targeted and continue to target. I'm now age 54, and Germans, as you see, still do not give up with their Slovenian partners. Boom, 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 boom. Bunny the Energizer still going strong. They still keep going, they still keep marching against all the proofs, against all the evidence I posted. I get lessons, more and more lessons of what they refer to as MK Ultra. I still did not establish what MK Ultra is. They were asking me at Novo Mesto police station, in the parenthesis, police, about what MK Ultra is. To tell you the truth, I still did not establish what MK Ultra is. And I know a whole lot about abuse, poisoning, torture, bestiality. I know a lot about what was done to me, but to tell you the truth, I'm still getting the lessons every fucking day about what MK Ultra is. I'm not trying to advertise America only in America. That's not what I'm trying to do. But the fact of the matter is that for those that need the most, it's always available. It's always available. Hard drives, smartphones are a necessity. For those that have more money, however, it can be a luxury. And that's the way it's done in the US, not in Europe. Not that I would want to promote America and blah, 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 blah. Necessity is a necessity. And the Germans are making money, cash out of necessity. They're making the cash out of the lunacy, total lunacy you see in my case. Not out of luxury, not out of extra. But they literally target those the most in need, through whom basically they shape the political landscape with their partners.